What up? What up? Welcome in. Here we go. It's pre-gaming and you are ready to go. It's Wednesday, 6 p.m., June 26th. Excited to be back with you guys tonight. We got ourselves a nice little Major League Baseball card. We got a little Copa action here as well. I'll tell you, soccer's been pretty good to me, so I think we'll stretch it out here. We'll share with you guys a play that I like here tonight to get us paid. Can't wait to go through the card. It's definitely a dog day of summer. Happens to be a dog night on my card. Excited to go attack some of these plus money spots tonight. We'll finish it off. We got pretty much action, I think, across the board. You guys already know I don't mess with doubleheaders, so the second leg of this doubleheader with this Atlanta game, I'm out. And they got a rain delay on top of that to start things off. I just don't have any interest. But I do have some interest in everything else that's going around the league tonight. So we will talk to you guys about this Cleveland-Baltimore game. We'll talk Toronto, Boston, Dodgers, White Sox, Minnesota, Arizona. And then at 9 p.m., let's take a little spin around the Copa and talk some Venezuela, Mexico. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight. Lots of things happening in the lab. We got all kinds of plays of the day going on out there. Shout out to our guy, Jake Peasy. He cashed that early spot today with them Seattle Mariners. You guys know already. Got to have them notifications on when we drop this content. Sometimes it's last minute. We had about an hour before that first pitch to go out there and get that cash. All that late movement coming in on Tampa Bay. Suckers, they weren't falling for it. Not Jay Peasy, not me. We cashed that Seattle Mariners spot out there. Pretty easy, too, at the end of it. I mean, it looked a little tight early. They got there when it was all said and done. And, of course, beautiful afternoon here. Lots of good things happening out there. Lots of things moving across the board as well. We had our guy Joe T get that over in the Houston full game team total. That was a nice little casher for us as well. And now we're on to the evening. I guess plenty of action. You guys hit that thumbs up button. Show the support. We got all kinds of things happening. Excited to dive into the lab with the boys for First Strike. We got some action here tonight with Subhuman Gaucho, MMA Jeff, and myself talking about this UFC card for Saturday. All building up to them Saturday live streams. You guys already know what we do with them live streams. We cash a lot. We've been crushing the main card. We've been putting the work in, and we are reaping the benefits from it. So going to be a lot of fun talking MMA tonight. So we got to get moving. We got a lot to cover. You guys know the deal. There's never enough time to do it. I got to get back in the production studio. I got to touch up some thumbnails. But I wanted to share with you guys the plays that I'm trying to attack the board with tonight. I think there are some really great spots, contrary to public opinion, in several of these opportunities as well. So you guys know the deal. I'll share trends with you guys. I'll share the angles. We'll talk about the cash flow and the splits. And then we want to see what you guys are on as well. So hit that thumbs up button. Grab that pen and paper. Lots of good things coming across from the chat. And you guys already know the deal in the chat. Throw your best bets out there. We want to see what you guys are on as well. We've worked all day looking at these cards here, trying to figure out what these best bets are. So it's important that we see what you guys have and that we can talk about them. We'll talk aloud. I love the banter going on in the chat, and I just love what we're doing here. You guys have been super supportive of what's happening. I know it's the dog days of summer and everybody's got a lot of things going on, but for those of you trying to grow the bankroll, this is the place to be. We'll keep bringing it to you guys as long as you keep liking the content. So we do appreciate all of it. All you guys working hard to help us grow this thing collectively. We want to work together and slay these bookies. And speaking of slaying, Deer Slayer Ski, Slay Joe T to get to be the first guy out there dropping his action out there. He says, what's good, Mikey? What's good, peeps? After watching Dolidze speak at this UFC Media Day, I believe he will effing murder Anthony Smith. All parlays will be tied to him this Saturday. Let's get it. Interesting spot, Deer Slayer Ski. Interesting spot. I did see that Dolidze is coming in on short notice, and he's fighting 20 pounds higher, 20 pounds heavier to take this fight. Uh-oh, what's going on there? That wasn't good. I don't know what that was all about. But anyhow, Joe T is in the house, and he's ready to go. Here we go. We got the best bet from Joe T. Twins Diamondbacks over 9. And look at this guy here, 11-5 plus 5.3 units from Joe T, sharing his pre-game and best bets. Justin McKelvey says, let's have a night. And Juggler 23 is in the house. You guys know it. We love to see these things out there. MLB trend for tonight. The home favorites coming off a game where they hit 4 or more home runs. 289 wins, 141 losses over the last 4+ seasons. That's a 67.2% win rate. That's what we're looking for. He says it's a Baltimore night. We're going to talk about it. We certainly will do just that. Man, that last night was a lot of fun. I'm glad I added that Cleveland spot. It was sweaty, though. Right to the end, right down to the wire. Let's go here. We got more juggler 23 spots here. Teams that have won their last 4 games but are playing on the road as large dogs have struggled, going 21-47 in their last 68 tries. So he's giving you the threaded needle spot here. He's saying fade Cleveland. And he says Baltimore 5 units and Yankees 5 units are his plays for tonight. He went 8-0 on Monday, but 1-6 yesterday, proving once again that gambling gods hate extremes. But Juggler 23, you know it's a grind, my guy. I mean, look, you didn't have that action, you wouldn't be 9-6. You know, once what it comes down to here is making sure we appreciate you coming in for us out there. Says best of luck to all. Kelly B says Juggler agree. Baltimore, they should whack Cookie Carrasco around. AOD says Mike M. the Machine, our brother. Kelly B says Joe T. Minnesota should smack Arizona starting pitcher as well. There's our guy Subhuman Gaucho. He's ready to go. He says, what's up? Good to see you, John. Bomb Polo, what's up, my guy? He says, what up? VP's 100. It's good to see you out there. Kelly V. Juggler, 5 units. You aren't playing. Jay Peasy says, what up, motherfuckers? Let's go. Jay Peasy, shout out to you with your cash today, my guy. I got to work on your thumbnail tonight. It's going to probably take me all night. I am not a production wizard. For what it's worth, if any of you guys in the chat are super handy dandy when it comes to production, reach out. I'd love to get you guys engaged here. All kinds of ways to get involved in what we're doing here. This is for the community, and it does take the village. So, look, it takes me a long time to make a short or to edit a video, and not so much editing the videos anymore, but this fucking production stuff, man. I can see why there's like full semesters for college kids just on the 101 basis of programming and shit like that, because it ain't easy. Kelly B says, hey, Gaucho and chat. Nicholas Handy went big on the Oriole home run props. Mounty, Mullins, and O'Hearn. Man, I'll tell you, I had a 9-legger today. it was only a sprinkle. But it was a 9-leg hitting prop. And it started off with a Bregman home run. I don't know what the hell happened, or not a home run, I'm sorry, an RBI. But nonetheless, they didn't count it. The error factor out there, the pitching error, and despite the run coming in, it wasn't a Bregman spot, and it shut me down on my 9-legger. So I don't even want to tell you. But nonetheless, I'm disappointed and ready to attack tonight. Kenny Woods says, what's up, Mike and gang? Kenny Woods in the house. Winner Circles in the house. Gerald Jones says, what's good? Pimp and crew. Best bet, Dodgers, White Sox under 4.5, first 5. Ricky Bobby, Mikey, you like Ohtani RBI tonight? I do, Ricky Bobby, but I don't like the odds. I don't think, look, it's all mathematics, right? We talk about volume. I talk about that stuff. Like I said this before. I said this since day one in the Major League Baseball season. Baseball is not the sport to go 2-0. I mean, look, 2-0 is fantastic. And there's people out there that can do it. But there's like 16 games on the card today. You're leaving, and there's 1,000 ways to play every game. Theoretically, there's 32,000 ways to play this game. 16 games, 2 teams a game is 32. 1,000 ways to play each team. There's just way too many opportunities out there. And I tie that back to the Ohtani spot because I do like Ohtani tonight. I think he's probably a guy to get one done. But when it's around even money, that number to me has to be like 140 or higher. If it's 140 or higher, then you can tape. No, let's look at it. I'll share with you guys. Where is it here? Let me pull it up real quick. Where is it? Right here. Right here. Did I fuck that up? I did fuck it up. All right, let's see here. Who was the RBI we had today? I know it cashed. I know we're 4-0. I know it was 190. Short-term memory problems. Don't judge me on this conversation alone. But where I was going to go with this is right now we're 13-13 on the RBI props that I gave out on Jimmy the Bag show this year. We're up 11.6 units at 500. Now, practice what I preach. I mean, I don't go out there when I share with Sharpie and I go, those are my plays. I'm on those plays. But in terms of just isolating one spot here, 500 record, but up almost 12 units. It's the volume and it's the plus money spots. The last 4 plays we took were a 185, a 175, a 190, and a 190 today. Why can't I think of the guy's name today? Why is it escaping me? It was just fucking 2 hours ago. Anyways, point is, trying to attack the volume and using the plus money opportunities to drive the number. It's a grind, you guys. There's no quick, do not pass, go collect $200. We got to grind. And that's why I think it's super duper important that we get the right plus money spots. But that being said, Ricky Bobby, maybe you tie it to a same game parlay. Maybe you tie it to another hitting prop that we can talk about later on as well. RVD 420 says, what's up, Mikey M? What's the look for tonight? VP says, I love that pick. Subhuman says, it's short notice. Good pick. What's short notice? What's short notice? Did I miss it? Clint Airlines in the house. What up, Clint? Says Mets first 5 and full game double up spot. Justin McKelvey says, glad you didn't listen to me. Don't bet Guardians. You won that round. Till next time. Well, we got another round tonight. That's about to pop off. Old E says, what's up, ladies? JP says, I didn't like that Red Sox spot last night. I like it today, but at minus 150, I got to find some way to bet it without paying that much moolah. VP says, I make thumbnails for my other channels. Oh, Tom Polo. My guy. I'm embarrassed at my I used to be a lot better with some of this stuff, but it's like anything else. You stop using it, you lose it out there. John says Red Sox team total over ? JP says, I'm only giving out picks to support Mike's channel. Once he gets some real stars, I'm out. Fuck that, JP. You are a real star, my guy. Let's go. John C says, feels like it's about to pour in New York City. It did rain here earlier. Kelly B says, and 32,001 ways to lose. Got to find one. Just got to find. That's right. Thanks, Kapansky. It was low. It was Nate Lowe. Thank you. I got to update that record anyways. So I'll do that with you guys. Thanks, man. That's embarrassing, dude. Nasty Nate says Red Sox smash. Justin McKelvey says low. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Fernando Mendoza says, thank you for the Guardians play yesterday. Easy money. Juggler 23. Listen, you guys. Thanks, guys. I had a short-term memory lapse there. There's been too much partying for me at night. Kelly V does have the WNBA play. She likes Dallas plus 10. Afternoon action tomorrow. There's my guy, Dan. Says, good luck today, gang. And Kelsey says, hey, Mikey. Kelsey, you know the deal. Hit the likey for Mikey. Let's go, you guys. Let's get this cash here. 32,000 ways to lose. Kelly, I think every single one of us in here with 32,000 ways can find a winner. That's what I believe. That you guys are all too sharp to fall into that situation out there. And I get it, though. Everybody's different. But I do believe, drop the unit size a little bit and then take some more action because you don't want to leave that. Look at that guy. What did he say? He had the 8-0 day. Listen, you're not going to have an 8-0 day if you're only playing 2 spots. Not going to happen. But I totally agree. Everybody's a little bit different. You just got to open up and fire the bullets where it makes a ton of sense. And let's talk about what makes a ton of sense. You guys keep talking about this game. So let me jump in here and just talk to you guys a little bit about what I'm doing here with this game. We got the Guardians and the Orioles. This game's going to pop off in 21 minutes. 21 minutes. We got the Orioles open up as a home favorite at minus 180. They just lost. They got to win this game. It's moved to minus 225. 79% of the bets and 76% of the cash on the Orioles. Then we look at this total. It's gone from 9.5 and it's on the dip. It's dropping. 9.5 down to 8.5 now, almost a full run. Jose Bouquet knows when we get that full run droppage, what do we do? 85% of the bets, 82% of the cash on the over. We've got Rodriguez, G-Rod starting on this Baltimore side with a 3.82 ERA. He's 8-3. We got the Cookie Monster rolling at 5.4 ERA, 3-6. What do we do? Obviously, it's a big home game at Camden Yard. I know what you guys want to do. I know exactly what you guys want to do. I can't do it. I cannot do it. Especially at plus 200. Look, we're in the 10 zones. We talked about this before. It's the double-digit streak factors, and this Cleveland Guardians team is running hot. Furthermore, this Baltimore team has been playing with shortened rest. You guys just talked about it yesterday. You talked about it the day before. These guys are on what, 11 games in 12 days or something crazy like that at this point, and on a hell of a losing streak. On the flip side, who's on a hell of a winning streak? The Cleveland Guardians. Shout out to our guy Juggler23. He shared with us that the hottest bullpen in baseball is this Cleveland Guardians team. The challenge, Cookie Carrasco. Cookie Monster Carrasco. Let's look at his June. 4 innings pitched on June 2nd against the Nationals. 7 hits he allowed. 5 runs. 5 of them earned. Follows it back up with another shit start. 4.2 innings pitched. 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs. Gives up a homer. But now what's happening? It's going just a little bit deeper. He plays Toronto. Goes 5 innings. 6 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned. Not good. Second time around with Toronto. The very next week. 6 innings pitched. Deeper. Second deepest he's gone all season. Only allows 4 hits, 1 run, 1 earned. It happened to be a homer. Shit happens. He tried to dice him down the plate, and he got rocked. But they won. And they won comfortably 7-1. Now let's look at G-Rod. Let's take a look at what this guy's doing. Mind you, I talked about regression candidacy and G-Rod being in the mold here. Started off 3 big wins, 6.2 innings. Did give up 7 hits. He's been pitching to a lot of contact. 7 hits, did win 7-2. Then he has 2 hits, goes 5.2 innings. So maybe that's where the regression maybe started to come into play. Maybe. He follows that back up with 7 hits, but goes 7 innings deep against them Philadelphia Phillies. And they won. That's a huge win. But how about this last game? Houston. Those bats in Houston were iced the F cold. What's he do? He goes 5 innings. He allows 9 hits, 7 runs, 7 earned, and another bomb. He's allowed 3 home runs in 4 games. You got, by the way, you got Kwan. You got Ramirez. Oh, man. Jimenez. You got the boys running out there with this Cleveland team right now. In 24 innings pitched, he's allowed 25 hits, 13 runs, 12 of them earned, and 3 home runs. I know it's Cookie Carrasco. You want to lay 250 on these Orioles? To take the Orioles -1, you still got to lay around a -160, -170 spot out there. I get it. Home team avoiding the sweep. This is just the wrong line. This line shouldn't be this big. You know, for what it's worth, we talked about the Nationals earlier today. Well, Jimmy had mentioned it on his show. And, you know, we look at some of these margins and we look at these opportunities, and everybody was saying it's a 1-run game. Not your boy. I specifically said I think 3.5s and 4.5s are the number here. You could lay 4s and 4.5s and get away with this thing. What's the score in that game? 4-0 with bases loaded. Hopefully you listen to me and you drop that 4.5. It was plus 400. I'm not fucking around. 8-0. There it is. 8-0. Bottom of the 8th. Plus 400. That's the way you fucking get down with baseball. You read the numbers, you find the angles, you look at the margins of victory, and you go and you fucking cash. Now, could Cookie Carrasco go out there and puke all over the mound? Of course. We obviously know that is a situation and a factor that can happen. This should be a tight game. This should be a tight game, much like we saw yesterday. Lots of runs being scored. I overthought the Texas spot there. I was like, you know what? I'm going to get cute and take an under in that game. That thing's soared over. I'm not going to make that mistake with the total here. You guys already know the deal. Grandma's wearing your sister's panties again is on this Cleveland Guardians in the over 8.5. I'm rolling back with it. At this point, Kelly V says San Diego could have added Cease K-prop, Mikey. Everybody was saying, Kelly, Cease isn't the same guy. He's not the same. At some point, they got to play towards their numbers. That's all that was simply playing towards their numbers. And he's definitely had a rough stint of it. The question is, when do you hop off? When do you let go of the electric fence? And in this case here, we're going to reap the benefits with that San Diego Padres spot. I'm not fucking around. I do this shit on the regular. That's the way we're going to get down with this Cleveland Guardians game. And look, plus 200, I'm going to take shots at that, especially when I start looking at the deeper dive in these pitching numbers. You said, what do we have going on? 2 guys that are kind of trending in different directions. For what it's worth, there we go. Let's move on to game number 2 here for you guys. Keep this train rolling. It's going to be fun. I know there's going to, look, I'll put my neck out there on the chopping block. I get it. Sitting out there taunting Cleveland as a plus 196 and telling everybody to take it. I get it. It's my money that's on it. I don't want to lose your money. I certainly don't want to lose my money, but I got to take this opportunity. This is just one of those spots where you can't, I don't know. I mean, I guess you can do whatever you want to do. You're going to lay minus 120 for the minus 1.5 on the Orioles. Minus one, was that 122? It's just not a good bet. Mathematically, it's just not a good bet. Now, can they win? Can you come back at me and be like, I told you they were going to beat the shit out of them? Sure. But you laid runs and odds, and there's just no ROI long-term in that. Short-term, maybe, if you're the guy or girl that wants to play one play tonight, and you just want to ride on this Cleveland team or Baltimore team and hope they win by 2 runs. Okay. Don't talk to me about the money line, though. Minus 225. I know nobody's doing that. I hope nobody's doing that. But nonetheless, that's just my 2 cents on kind of how I approach that game. Let's talk about this one here, the Subway Series. Look, I couldn't have been any more wrong on the total. That fucking thing. That game's probably still going on the way that they were scoring like crazy. And I want to go back to this under. I want to take the Mets again as well. I told you guys yesterday, the home team in the Subway Series has now won 8 of the last 10 games, I believe, in the home spot with the Subway Series. Garrett Cole was definitely a guy to look at from a fade perspective. 74% of the bets, 86% of the cash on the Yankees. The lines dropped from minus 138 to minus 125. This total's gone from 8.5 down to 8s. Yet we have 92% of the bets and 66% of the cash on the over. I may end up jumping back in and jumping on this under. Kind of like the Mets. There's no official play for me. But let's roll on over to Fenway. Let's talk about the Toronto Blue Jays in a battle of the AL East against the Boston Red Sox. 85% of the bets and 84% of the cash on the Boston Red Sox. This line's gone from minus 174 to minus 148. Fernando Mendoza. You'll have to ask the boys to verify it, but I think about 15 minutes before that Portugal game, the Steam report came in, and it said the public loves the first half and the full game in that spot there. That sucks. That sucks on that Portugal spot. Hindsight's 2020, but we did talk about it as a group, and plus 900, I think, was the spot there with with those. Now, I didn't take the plus 900. I can't lay claim to it. I tried to get both teams to score at like plus 120. I didn't realize Portugal wasn't going to show up. But anyways, back to this Toronto and Red Sox game. 9.5 moved to 10. 93% of the bets and 93% of the cash on the over. What are we looking at here? Well, it's the AL East battle. Yariel Rodriguez with a 5.94 ERA, 0-2 on the season. Tough start for this kid. And on the other side, Cutter Crawford, 3.59 ERA, but 3-7. 3-7 on the season. You know, when I looked at this game and I talked about the series, I thought, we talked specifically about the AL East and historically what they've done over the last 2 seasons. Internally, they battle each other to 500s. Externally, they tend to kick the shit out of everybody. Internally now, we saw Boston did hammer Toronto that last series they played. This series sitting at 1-1. Boston wins the first game. Then the Toronto bats get rolling. Now we got them picking up that 9-4 spot out there. And look, you guys aren't going to like my card tonight. I'm going to tell you that already. If you're looking for reasons to take big favorites, you're not finding them here. And I'll tell you about Cutter Crawford. 2-12 as a home favorite. 0-11 in career starts after a road start where he got 5 or more Ks and allowed a run. Strong start, doesn't follow it back up. Now you look at this guy's numbers on top of that. As I mentioned, his ERA and his win-loss percentage out there, 3.59, but 3-7. The yo-yo effect. He has a big game on the road, then he comes back home. Home cooking ain't good. He don't like them Boston Beans. He don't like Sam Adams. And he certainly doesn't play well after a big road start out there. I thought about the first 5 with this one. What ultimately kept me off the first 5 is 2 things. One, FanDuel's got the best number. You guys know my situation there. Also, The Red Sox are a dominant first 5 team. They have been. Now, they might have gone through some lulls, but I still can't get into it. Cameron Sinet says Crawford pitching is terrible. Looks like you're watching a college baseball pitcher. Kelsey says, Mikey, what's the grandma is your sister? I got the Guardians in the over, Kelsey. Guardians and I got the over at I believe it was 8. I'll have to double check. I bought that down from the full run there. JPC says Red Sox 4-2 is faves at home on Wednesdays. I really like the over, but I want to cash at 10, not push. I'll wait for a live over. I think that's a great play. I think that's a great play to attack this game, JPZ, and go get that money, my guy. Fernando says, okay, I'll write that down, Gerardo. And Gerardo says Ecuador over 7.5 corners, minus 135 live. What's going on in that game? What is happening over there? I do have some action in that game. Let's see what's happening. Ecuador. I got the under 2.5 in that game and the draw. So for what that's worth, for anybody that's interested in potentially live betting, I did take Ecuador and the draw in that game. So I'm sorry, the under and the draw. The under 2.5 I like more than the draw. It was pricey as F though. It was sitting around a minus 150. So soccer's a little different animal though. We're talking about baseball and volume betting here. Soccer, all these games. I'll talk to you guys about this when we get to this Mexican soccer game there, or Mexico soccer game, I should say. It's not truly a Mexican soccer game, but let's roll on. Let's keep it rolling, you guys. Let's talk about this next game I've got on the card. We're going to roll on out to look at this Dodgers spot. Dodgers and White Sox, 8:10 p.m. We got 89% of the bets and 96% of the cash jumping in on Gavin Stone and these Dodgers. What did the books do? Well, they opened at minus 200. Now sitting at minus 166. As far as the total is concerned, 83% of the bets, 84% of the cash on the over 8.5. Slight down tickets. Now seeing some 8s out there. It's Fetty, probably the second best pitcher on the bump, or at least the most experienced guy out there. From an experience to wins or losses ratio, Fetty's definitely going to be the best guy out there. Obviously, we know what Garrett Crochet does. 3.05 ERA, 5-2 on the season. And then Gavin Balls of Stone, 3.04 ERA, 8-2 on that guy's early season going out there. Now, here's the question with Ohtani, right? Here's where our guy was asking. Ricky Bobby was talking about the Ohtani spot there. Ribeyes. Ohtani. Plus 105. If I was going to jump in for a ribeye in this game, I'd go to Teoscar Hernandez. Hernandez at plus 160s, 165s out there at BetMGM. That's, to me, is where the risk return or the risk reward comes into play, and that's how you capitalize on an ROI. I mean, I get it. Ohtani's going to probably go, and it's going to look like a great play, but if you keep going at that rate and you drop 2 in a row, all of a sudden your bankroll's down. You're down and out. So not a spot that I want to be involved with, but you guys know the deal. I talked about this before. I love this first 5 under 4.5. I think this is a great opportunity for us to get that cash, and I'm doing it. I talked to you guys about this about 2 weeks ago. The starting of the season here, the White Sox, everybody on the batting order on the injured list. They were all out. They were all hurt. They were all struggling. Well, now Benintendi, we got Lou Bob, Vaughn, all kinds of things happening. Don't forget we got the Jukes out there as well, or Jukes, or however you say his last name. I don't have to say it to play it. That's my claim to fame. And I think these guys are finding a way to get the job done out there. Now, it's not for the weak of heart. My thought with this one here is I got an opportunity to go bang this thing down under 4.5. I love that first 5 at minus 110. But the White Sox full game to me here, let me share with you guys some numbers on some of these trends that I'm looking at and why this one kind of drove and got my attention. The Dodgers, 2-8. When they got a starting pitcher who's won 5 consecutive starts. How many starts in a row does the guy win? I saw everybody talking about Gavin Stone to record the win today. You're playing the White Sox. They're a hot first 5 team. We've talked about this time and again. These are the numbers. This is where that ROI or opportunity. Now, I know Jay Peasy, sharp capper. He says every time the Dodgers drop in value on the line, he takes them. There we go. I just said it. JPZ, I heard you say that so many fucking times. It's ingrained in my head. When they become cheaper, you know what to do, but I can't do it today. Dogs looking to avoid the sweep are 23-5 if they were dogs last game and shorter than plus 152 games ago. Fetty, 3.05 ERA, as I mentioned. His hard hit rates and exit velocity are amongst the highest of the league, highest of his career, and his strikeout rate above league average. You got a guy throwing harder, throwing faster, and striking people out. On the other side of things, Gavin Stone, certainly comparable as well. 3.04 ERA, as I mentioned. Average exit velocity, but his hard hit rate's been through the roof. So not going to strike out, I don't believe, as many times as we see Fetty does. And because of that, I like that first five. I think we've got two dueling aces on the bump to be able to go out there and keep our first five down. But I do expect the White Sox to be able to tip through this one. They're trying not to get swept. They're home as the dog. They're in that opportunity, fading away on the Dodgers in the spot. These guys don't win forever. They're not going out there clumping together 15-game winning streaks. And if they do, well, more power to them. But at plus 158 on the full game here, we catch that first five. We're playing with house money, trying to turn that into almost 2.6 units to get the job done. So I told you guys, you're not going to – this is my card. This is the way I'm attacking the board tonight. Not going to like it, but I got to take advantage of it here. I think that just comes down to the X's and O's, the Jimmies and the Joes. And I want to get some White Sox action. Now, I have been fucked so many times by the White Sox on a full game spot, but tonight I like the opportunity. Tonight I think there's last game was competitive. We know they can start out with first fives. I expect it to be a lower scoring game. I like the full game under 8.5, by the way, for what it's worth. I chose to play just 2 units on this game, one on the first 5 under. And then the theory being, if I go 50-50, I'm still going to be, in the realm here. So not that I'm trying to go 50-50. I think these are both qualitative spots to go out there and attack. But I didn't want to get 3 units deep on this thing because that's where you start to, that's where you really start to, I've done it before too. You start playing the first 5 money line, the first 5 total, the full game money line, or the full game total. And all 3 of them lose. Now you're down 3 units plus the juice in some spots, and you got to try to chase that shit back somewhere else. And it's not a good recipe to get it done. Here we go, Mel. Mel says, Mike, Dodgers bullpen is cooked. Gavin Stone over 18.5 outs. The problem I have with that, though, Mel, is who are the White Sox really? They're nobody. It doesn't matter if they beat these guys or not. If the White Sox win this game, that's not going to be a tie-breaking factor for the Dodgers when it comes time to playoffs. So I think this could be that game where they just say, fuck it. They know their bullpen's taxed, but you don't want to hurt your kid in Gavin Stone that you need to rely on, and he's been playing phenomenal. It only takes one bad tweak because they went too long with this guy in a game that doesn't make a difference, and now they're down a key starter in their bullpen or in their arsenal of starting pitchers. So 18.5 at plus 125, though, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that spot there. That's just going to speak to, I think, keeping the game under. And that's going to be the only chance the Dodgers, I think, have to win this game here. They have to make the decision. Either they keep riding Gavin Stone in the hot hand, injury be damned. Do they need this game that much? Or do they just write this one off and they get ready to get the hell out of Dodge? I think that's the case there, as is the case in why I'm taking those opportunities. But look, you can't talk me off of some plus money spots. You can. Some, teams that are minus 300 that should be minus 300s. I'm not just taking that plus money to take that plus money. I'll tell you who's a plus money team that can eat shit and die. The Oakland Athletics. They fucking stink. I can't believe how bad they are consistently day in and day out. Kelly V says, at Kelsey, yes, Mike does. What did I do? Do you bet against your favorite teams? Yeah, I do. With the exception of the Eagles, because they have warranted, they are just better than everybody. Statistically, offensively, and defensively, I do. I fade the shit out of the Flyers. I said before, they're too stupid to realize how bad they are. And this is I said that back in November. They keep winning games, and they should be losing these games because they're going to end up missing the playoffs and have a shit draft pick. Now here they are, the 13th position in the draft. Hell yeah, I fade away on them. Or I'll stay away from them. There's the other side of things, is I'll try to stay away from them as well. Let's go. Mel says, Kelly, I already cashed my favorite play with the Astros minus 1.5. Nice play. Nice job. Nice job. Justin McKelvey says, if I had a bad list Athletics would be on there as of today. Yeah. I thought about that, guys. I thought about bringing out the shit list. So I'll work on something like that from a graphic perspective. But Kelly V says the Angels get the sweep. Yeah, see, that teams don't want to get swept factor. It doesn't seem to make shit of a difference. Kelsey says she's a Chargers fan. She's a Chargers fan out there. Interesting spot there. Going to be a lot of fun to see what's going on when they bring in Harbaugh. I can't wait to talk football with you guys. I'm so excited about the upcoming season we have. We just got another, 2 months to get through, and then we'll be college football. NFL is going to be right around the corner. It's going to be so much fun. Maybe we'll do some draft shows, or I don't know if you guys do fantasy football. Maybe we can get some guys together to talk up, guys and girls, of course, to talk about fantasy football. We can talk about some of the rankings and orders. We can talk power rankings. There's so much that we can do. I know LJ is going to get involved with some things going on regarding, conference breakdowns, divisional breakdowns. So much fun coming down the pike out there. Let's go. Mel says, Kelly, Mike makes a fair point about Gavin Stone. I just like to plus money. Yeah. Hey, listen, never gonna take anybody off a dock. Friends don't talk friends off of docks. That is what I've learned in the game. And I don't want to preach. I don't want to preach to you guys. So let's roll on. Let's talk about this next game for you guys here. My last game on the baseball card. Then we've got this Copa game between Venezuela and Mexico that I do have a play on. So I will share that with you guys as well. Let's talk about the setup for this Arizona game out there. We've got Minnesota. We've got them out there in the desert. And we've got them open up as minus 120 road favorites. They're sitting at minus 120. Probably some line stabilization out there because the Arizona Diamondbacks went from plus 102 to plus 105. 64% of the bets and 85% of the cash on the Twins. We look at the bets, we look at the cash. You guys have heard me say this time and again, right? The bets typically going to be the public bettors, the parlay bettors. It's all the soup, all the tickets being counted. 64% of the bets on the Twins. Then we look at the cash, and we typically think associated with sharper bettors. Bigger bettors coming in. They're not doing parlays. They're just dropping a boatload on a team. And in this case, as much as the 64% of the bets are on the Twins, the bigger bettors are pounding the Twins. The line is at 9, the total, and it's 93% of the bets and 96% of the cash. Ryan Nelson and Woods Richardson here, the starter for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and Nelson, 5.18 ERA. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Who says you can't jinx yourself? Who says you can't jinx yourself? 8-0. Now it's 8-5 in that Nationals game. So I believe in the jinx, you guys. I firmly believe in the jinx, but you got to ladder it. You got to do what you got to do. Woods Richardson, on the other hand, 3.26 ERA. I can't believe that just happened. Can't believe that just happened in fucking bottom of the ninth inning. Fucking Nationals. Whatever. We are where we are. Still going to get the minus 1.5. Still going to get the minus 2.5. Damn, I wanted that plus 400 something. Damn. All right. That's not going to leave a mark. It's still going to be some profit, but damn. I mean, a 4-to-1 opportunity on top of everything else. Damn. All right. We look at this Diamondbacks Twins game here. The Twins took the L yesterday, 5-4. I was just looking at this game here, just thinking pretty much I want to get involved in this Twins team here. I talked before about this Twins team, and they're punching bunches. They go out there and they string together a series of wins. Then they string together a series of losses, and kind of their current form with regards to this team right now. They just had those 2 wins. Now they're taking an L. I think they're going to bounce back more to form, though, because I believe the Diamondbacks have played beyond their capacity to start this season off. They kind of rode their coattails from last year's success. They started off the season, the bats were hotter than pistols. They couldn't find a way to miss. Now, on the other side of things here, we got this Woods Richardson cat coming out here trying to get things done. And frankly, all the strikeout rates through the roof for Carroll, Marte, Jock Peterson, Christian Walker, Gary L., McCarthy, Suarez. The bottom of the order is going to struggle. Suarez, Barnhart, Perdomo, all these guys should be getting K'd down here by our guy, Woods Richardson, to get the job done here. I think the lower scoring play comes into play here. I see some of you guys talking about the opportunity to take the over. I don't know. I'm gun shy when it comes to that, but I'm not just taking dogs out here. I like to get some favorites as well. We'll talk about this Twins team, 10-5 over their last 15 games when they roll. their bats ever since they got Royce Lewis back into the lineup there have been on fire. And I expect that to keep going. I don't think Arizona, as much as they started the season off hot, I don't think they have enough gas in the tank to compete with this Minnesota Twins team when they heat up. And we see 10-5 over 15 games as a favorite. When they're marked as a favorite, you got to go after them. That's how they roll. That's how they operate. When they're big dogs, they're a big dog for a reason. In this case here, though, at a minus 120, that's a reasonable number to go out there and take a shot with here. You're not going to, you're small juice on the opportunity as it relates to the game itself. But, I think both these pitchers can certainly be out there. And I suck when it comes to the K-prop stuff. I played turnbull earlier today, over 3.5 outs or over 3.5 strikes. Guy gets hurt. I just don't have any luck with that shit. But I am taking a shot with this Minnesota Twins team because I do believe, despite the bullpen potentially getting a little gassed out in this case here, over the last 15 games in that same sample, or well, not the same sample, the 10-5 as favorites, but over the last 15 games, their WRC plus is number 1 in Major League Baseball. And they rank second in OBP against right-handed batters or against right-handed pitchers. Second in Major League Baseball against right-handed pitchers. I'm not a big Nelson fan out there. I think they should have no problem getting this guy knocked around. I wanted to take Nelson in the under 16.5 outs. I just don't. This isn't the game I want to be double dipped on at the end of the day here, especially with the plus money card we've got going on. The last thing I want to do is get in the business of giving shit back by trying to force too much out there. I do believe that these plus money spots are great opportunities to get paid. I don't believe Nelson goes beyond the 5th. He's sitting there at 16.5 outs right now. It's minus 105. It's a reasonable number to take a look at here, but hasn't been the best year for this guy. I mentioned that 5.18 ERA. And, it's going to be, he just gives up a lot of contact. He just gives up too much contact for me. And I think there's just too much happening here on this Minnesota Twins team to take advantage. Give me the 10-5. They're a favorite for a reason. When they're a dog, you fade them. When they're a favorite, you play them. But here's the thing I stay away from, by the way. There's numbers that jump in my head as far as bad spots to be. When you get the Minnesota Twins in that range between minus 130 and minus 140, much like I was doing the White Sox first 500, certain things start to jump out as you keep track of your records and how things are happening out there. Let me tell you, the White Sox minus 1 at minus 130s are bad things to happen. It's just a bad place to be. And I believe in this case, though, with these guys sitting at minus 120, that's fine. The general adage there being, I'm going to just take them from minus 180. I'll just take some of that juice off and we'll lay a run. You're just playing not to lose. In this case, though, I'm comfortable and confident that they get the job done for this Minnesota Twins team. I think these bats are hot. I think Ryan Nelson's the guy to fade. And that's how I'm going to choose to get paid. There is a favorite on the card. For anybody that's a favorite better, go get it. Cliff Yank says Nats scored 5 in the top of the 9. I know. I can't believe it. I'm disgusted by it. I'm fully disgusted by it. I still can't believe it. But let's roll over and let's talk about some Copa opportunity going on here. We've got Mexico taking on Venezuela. Big game tonight. It's going to be a 9 p.m. Eastern start. Big things happening out there. And look, the little bit of insight that I got in this game here is USA beat Mexico for the first time in like 100 years. Was it last year? What happened after that, though, is Mexico decided to throw the playbook out the window and start to fully retool what they're doing. Defensively, they've kept things intact. And as far as it's concerned with this Copa, the unders have been flying right now when you look at this thing. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention or not. I certainly have. As we look at this thing, 5 of 8 Copa games played have gone under the total. So we're sitting there at around that 58% rate or so, if you will. That being said, Venezuela, of those 5 of 8 games going under, Venezuela was one of the teams that went over. It was only because Ecuador got down a man. Ecuador goes down that last game. If you watched Ecuador versus Venezuela, what day was that? Saturday? I think that was Saturday. Ecuador goes out there. We see that red card get called early in the game. The second half starts. Even though Venezuela's up a man, has time to go back to the locker room, pre-plan, and get ready to change their attack and the way they're going to go out there for the second half. Doesn't Ecuador score the first goal anyways? I couldn't believe it. I'll tell you what, Venezuela was lucky to walk out of that game with that win. I know they scored 2 at the end here, but I think the way this thing goes down, here's the challenge, the draw. And there's a draw token out there. If the game ends in a draw on DraftKings, they will give you your money back. That's not a bad play to hear, because if Mexico gets the draw, they should still advance to the next round. I just don't know how they're going to get out there and score goals on this Mexican defense. This Mexico team plays stellar defense. I mentioned the transition process that's taken place with these guys, but I've watched 2 Copa games here. I watched Canada last night. That was a fun game. I got to see that thing, and I was tied to an onslaught of parlays and all kinds of other stuff I had going on. It was a fun game. I saw what they did. Certainly an under. But now I see what's going on. The other game that I watched was Venezuela and Ecuador. Because of the red card, because I was on that Ecuadorian side of the soccer pitch. And Venezuela, man, for 85 minutes of that game, and they were damn near up a man the entire time. Again, lucky to go out there and get the job done. I think despite the fact that we're sitting here watching this Mexico team in the rebuild right now, they play that. I mentioned that defense. They've got, I think it's a 75% under rate under the new captain or the new manager that they have for the squad. I think that keeps the score down, and I think they can go out there and they can fire one in. So at a plus 120 for me, I'm going to jump in. That's where my money's going to be tonight. That's why I only went single shot on that Arizona-Minnesota game instead of trying to go wide in that game, instead of trying to look at any, scoring props or home run props or anything like that. I wanted to get involved with Mexico because at plus 120, I told you guys this before, where I look at the volume game and the way that I try to manage the process, try to have, even numbers. If you look at my X, a recap, the pinned tweet that I have shows the numbers from last call throughout the season. There's a reason that, that the NFL number and the NBA numbers are sitting there at about I think they're actually identical in terms of units. I try to take every slate and I try to have the same even number of games going in those slates. Because if I do go 1-on-1 with plus money spots, I have the opportunity to gain, the edge in this case here. Now with this game, in this Mexico and this Arizona spot, minus 120 on Minnesota and plus 120 on Mexico. I mean, 1-on-1, I need Mexico to win there for me to get the push, but it's the process and managing the time slots, the process of approaching and attacking plus money spots. We just talked about the RBI stuff to start to show off as well for you guys. And it's just a little insight in the way that I try to go out there. As I've been doing this a long time, the way that I try to attack it, I know what works. And this is why you got to track your numbers. You got to look at where do we win? Where do we lose? Obviously, what's hot for us, what's not. But ultimately, you got to look at how many games do I have to have in play to be able to grind that profit. You know what? You end up, I said this before, if you win $300 a day, think about this for those guys that want to go out there and drop $5,000 on a game. If you win $300 a day over the course of the year, that's over $100,000. I think $50 unit bettors are certainly capable of doing that. $100 unit bettors are capable of doing that. If you're $1,000 unit bettor, or maybe you're higher, I'm not going to bankroll shame anybody here, but some of us have grown our bankrolls enough that we can go out there and drop those bigger units on there. It gets the job done. It's how you keep grinding. And we saw our guy started the show off telling us about his 8-0 start. Yeah, he went 1-6 the next day. He's 9-6 though, right? 9-6 over a 2-day span, and he's got bullets to fire today, and he's up. He's in the green. Look, we got to minimize the 1-6. But if we take enough plus money spots, and I shared that with you guys with the 13-13 ribeye record being up almost 12 units. Even when I'm losing, I'm still finding a way to win in those spots out there. We don't want to be leading with losses, but there's still a good opportunity to get the job done. JPZ, if you can only get Mexico at plus 1, I would take Mexico all the way down to minus 105. That's that's the break-even point for me. Fucking Ecuador. Gerardo says 2-0 Ecuador. I see 1 or 2 more. Fuck. That's why you don't lay a minus 150. I'm about to learn that the hard way, you guys. Kelsey says, Mikey, thank you for all you do every day and all you don't have to share anything, but you did the bestest. Smash the likey for Mikey. I appreciate you guys, man. Listen, I hope it helps you guys. I just like to come out here and talk with you guys about what I'm doing, how I approach the card. Everybody does it differently. But I do believe, if we work together, we share strategies, you got to have a certain number of losses before you figure out how to win. And I've been doing this a long time, taking a lot of L's, but we get a lot of W's. And then when we do, we grind, we build. Don't have to keep adding to the bankroll. We don't have to replenish because we can weather the storm and then live to fight the next day. And I think today's going to be a great battle. Bookies versus us. We're going to get this victory tonight, you guys. I'm excited about it. Jay Peasy, shout out. He says 2 ways to lose in soccer. 1-1 score, you lose. Yeah. Draw. That's why I like that draw token that they're offering out there. I'm comfortable taking a shot with Mexico plus 120. If it does end up 0-0 or 1-1, they're going to give us their money back. It's a great opportunity out there. Subhuman says, I was almost thinking about the under, Gerardo. Figured they could park the bus. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Oldie says sports money is the best. Appreciate all you guys rocking with us tonight. Gerardo, Kelsey, Trisha M's in the house out there. I know she's getting her Raising Canes on. Fernando Mendoza, Justin McCalvey, Jay Peasy, Steve Bailey says, how about parlay Mexico or tie with the under? Yeah, I can get down with that. The double chance Mexico or the tie, that's going to be a little pricier. I think I saw that at -1. I think it was -135 earlier today, maybe -140. I'm okay with that. I'm okay. Look, I'm not a soccer guy. It's not my favorite thing to cap. I don't even really like watching it. I've been to a few games live. It's too slow for me. It's too slow. It just takes so fucking long for shit to develop. I can't get into it. But that being said, Fletcher Barry says, you said the under, if you were to play a same game parlay, would you take the under 4 goals and Mexico? Sure. Yeah, because I think the big takeaway for me is that Venezuela is not scoring. And if they score 1, Mexico's offense is where the concern is for me. They're in that retool mode collectively. They're trying to figure out who their best strikers are going to be. But their defense is still intact. So I do like that under. I don't think it's going to be a blow. And neither team needs to blow. Well, Venezuela needs to win this game like 25-0 to advance, or to make a battle and get up in the table. But I think it's a good opportunity, Fletcher Berry. Why the hell not? Ken Wood, Juggler23, appreciate you coming in, sharing all your trends on the daily. We got a lot of work to do tonight, you guys. We're going to get after it. We're going to get in the lab. We're going to crack out some first strike with UFC MMA Jeff and Subhuman Gaucho and I. Hey, don't look now. Your boy went 1-0 last week. 1-0. I'm trying to roll it back. I got a nice banger for you guys this week here. I think it's going to be a nice plus money shot. Make sure you check it out. That content will drop later tonight. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. But turn those notifications on. Most important, when we drop that content, you guys will be the first to be in the know. Appreciate everybody. Make sure you tune in for more tips. We'll see you guys soon. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pre-gaming, baby. See everybody soon.